Good day, my friends and family. Welcome back. Yes, today we are still in West Africa. Today we're going to go to Nigeria and we're going to peel back the layers of Nigerians, President Bola Tinubu. Many people know about his court case in the 1990s, where he gave up $460,000. But here's the truth: his involvement goes back even further, as early as 1988. Tinubu's Bola Tinubu's account were already tied to a heroin trafficking network in Chicago. That means by the time he entered Nigeria politics, the West already had file on him. Let's get into it. Court filings from Chicago linked Bola Tinubu bank account to a drug kingpin named Alodea Akana his heroin operation in 1988. When the U.S. investigation tracked the money, Tinubu's account shows suspicious deposits and movement. By 1993, he reached a settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, forfeiting $460,000 instead of facing trial. Now, let me ask you a question. If it was you and you were innocent, would you just hand over nearly $500,000 to the United States government? Or was it easy to pay up because you knew the evidence was stacked against you? Either way, Tibu didn't, Bola Tibu did not fight. He cut a deal, and that deal would define his whole career. This is how the West uses this information. US agency, the CIA, the FBI, the DEA, they blocked the release of Tibu's files. When journalists try to get them to an FOI citing national security, the FOI citing national security risk. That's not protection, that is leverage, which telling you the US government has leverage over Bola Tinubu. A compromise leader becomes easy to control. Keep your country in the IMF debt. Sell your raw material cheap. Toe the line on the US foreign policy. Meanwhile, they praise him as a democratic partner while the people suffer under inflation and poverty. Yes, my friends, before we continue, when I ask you, please like, share, and subscribe to this video. Subscribe to the channel so when we bring you more hard-hitting truths like this, you'll be the first to get notification and you'll become a part of the family so we can always share information. Now, let's get back to this. The West, 99.99% of the time, does not want a clean leader. They want a leader with skeletons because when you compromise, you can't say no to the West. Tibu link, drug link, passed him the perfect pawn. He becomes the perfect pawn for the US and the Western government. Just to show your point, the West has nothing in Ibrahim Traore, who's in West Africa, or Assimi Gota, or Triani in Niger. So what the West does, they manufacture false information. They call them junta leaders or junta leaders. They keep saying these leaders will overthrow the government, the rightful government, through military coup. The West don't tell you why, and they don't say, well, here is what the present leaders are doing. They don't say, well, the conditions has improved or has not improved. If it hasn't improved, they'll blast that every living day. Once it start improving, they'll ignore it. A good example, the UN just put out a report in Burkina Faso about child labor in the military and some other things. What the UN report did not say is that that area of West Africa is known for people trafficking. It is the terrorists, the jihadists that is trafficking these children. It's not the government, but they frame it as it's the government. And if you dig deeper, where the root cause is, it's in Europe, cheap labor. Europe need cheap labor. So these people traffickers, they kidnap children and young people and ship them off to Europe. So they sell them into cheap labor in Europe. So that's where the problem is. If the West want to stop the child labor in Africa, they stop the cheap labor in Europe. But they don't tell you that. So let's get back to this. Let's, like I said, I just compare Bola Tinubu to Ibrahim Traore, how both are treated. One has a criminal record and the other doesn't have a criminal record. And the one that doesn't have the criminal record get smear campaign every day about him because he's not playing the West or playing in the West playbook. Traore is a soldier. He's not a Western trained puppet. He has no criminal files in Washington or Paris, and that's why they label him authoritarian and they try to smear him. Tinubu bows to the West and Western government and Washington because he must. The day he stops is the day they'll open that file again and they'll go in and arrest him in Nigeria. Trust me, they'll do that. Traore is resisting Washington and Paris because he can. This is the real split in West Africa today. Leaders who rise clean with their people versus leaders who rise dirty under foreign hands. Tinubu is the face of compromise. Traore is the face of sovereignty. The West doesn't like you when you speak the truth and they have no dirt on you. So when you hear about Tinubu's policy today, the IMF deals, the subsidies cut, the alignment with Western foreign policies, remember where it all started back in 1988 with dirty money tied to heroin trafficking. The West had him from the beginning. And I would like to ask you a straight up question. If you had $460,000 in your account and you had the money legit, would you give up that money without a fight? Simply yes or no. And I'll leave it at that. This is the West Best Media, where we bring you straight talk, no filters. But I ask you at this moment, please like, share, and subscribe to the video. Africa must rise and Babylon must fall. Until the next time, stay awake, stay sharp, my brothers and sisters. One love and peace. See you in the next video.